My name is Bryan Renton, and I took Pat Davies' running clinic in the fall of 2015. Previous to that, whenever we did workouts, I typically chose rowing over running because my previous running experience was running on the field back in high school, and since then, not much. I'm a good sprinter, but I never really knew that I didn't know how to run until I joined FIT, and then when we started having a little bit longer runs, I'd be gassed after 400 or 800 yards, and I just didn't know why. So I talked to Pat a little bit, and he said, why don't you try out my clinic? So I took a stab at it just like everything else. I figured experience is going to lead me to a better resolution, and it did. So again, took the running clinic in the fall of 15, and since then ran a 5 mile, ran a 7.5 mile, and I just completed a half marathon in under 10, which I was pretty stoked about. But the running clinic changed me on many levels. One, it really made me dial in not only just the aspect of what type of muscle or what muscle in my leg I'm using, but the breathing techniques. You know, I just used to just breathe. I never really thought much about it, and that was making me tired. Found that I was using, again, the wrong side of my legs, using the bigger meaty portions of my legs as opposed to the front portions, lifting my legs instead of pushing my body. All aspects of things that I didn't know I was doing wrong, but now I can trot 5 miles easily, and I feel like I used to do the amount of energy that I did in about 100 yards, and I'm very much appreciative of it. I ran the Eau Claire half marathon. It was a great event. The crowd was certainly out there. They were definitely inspirational. But again, if it wasn't for the training on the whole thing, I had somebody pacing me that ran the running clinic with me, so that made it nice that we were kind of going back and forth, and yeah, the whole thing was a success. I don't think I really felt too much of it until the last mile, and then it got mental game, but again, it was a good way to get started. For that answer, the one is I found out that I was running on the inside of my foot, if we're actually talking the initial foot position, where when I went to the clinic, I found out that I was running on the inside of my feet, so I got to focus on running on the outside. So now it's to a point where it's a second nature that I'm hitting my foot correctly on what side of my foot. And in the running itself, I was very much a long strided heel to toe type person before, and I would almost jar myself in, which again, outside of sprinting, when you're always leaning forward on your toes, that's the way I always thought you're supposed to run. Not anymore. It's more of like the learning to run on the ball of your foot, or basically on the flat of your foot, and your heel touching, but the lean was the biggest part, where I did notice where if I pulled myself back or pushed forward, I wasn't really exerting much more energy, but I got to move a lot faster without pushing myself that much harder.